Good evening everybody, welcome back to a Chart Nerd Technical Analysis video. Today we will be discussing TEL coin, the ticker is TEL against the USDT on the weekly time frame. So I posted this fractal on X not too long ago where I speak about this key support and demand zone, which was a previous level of resistance back here in January of 21, and we broke out and met this massive blow off top. Which was an absolutely insane move for TEL coin. I witnessed this and it was absolutely crazy, epic. But ever since, we've had this bear market and we've come back down to this key support and demand zone and retested this previous high of January 2021 and have turned it into support. So right now it does look like that from this high here that was put in March, which has taken out these previous highs, by the way. So it's good structure. It's nice to see that we have put in a higher high compared to previous highs that we were struggling to break out of. But ever since doing so in March, we started forming again another falling wedge pattern. So I think we could be on the verge of doing something where we rinse repeat a similar pattern to this, where both of these are two falling wedges, where we came up to a high, we started correcting, formed this falling wedge, broke out back to where the wedge started forming right now, and from that we broke out, came back to a higher low, put in a new local high compared to these previous highs, and we started forming this falling wedge again. So I think it's literally a rinse repeat pattern here of what we've had in the past throughout 2023, and we're coming into 24 again and doing the same thing. So right now it would be nice to see TEL coin over the coming weeks towards the end of September come back to this key level of support, right, which has been tested multiple times. We had a wick down to it here in December of 23 as well. You know, we've come back to this level and it's been holding as a key level of support ever since August of 2023. So over a year now we've been holding this as a level of support. But ever since, this is only the second time we're coming down for a touch point. So really and truly we could have some sort of really large double bottom here where we're just building a base. I think I said in my last video, we're building a base structure and foundation before looking to take out to previous highs that TEL coin's been falling from over the past couple of years. So it's literally just about holding a key level of support back on this demand zone and this support zone. If I just get rid of the RSI quickly, which I will talk about in a second, by the way, it's about coming down to this key support zone and holding this as support within this falling wedge, breaking the wedge resistance, and then I think we get the retracement back up to where this falling wedge started to form. Again, in the previous falling wedge where we came down in this sort of channel here, we broke out and retraced straight back up to where the wedge formed. Initially we did come back down and roll over pretty fast, but we did put in a higher low here compared to the previous low in September of 23, and we broke out to a new local high. So in regards to this sense, from this low we have put in this bullish structure, and all we are doing right now is coming back for another key retest on this key support and demand zone, which sits at 0.001, guys. So if we do come back within September to this sort of low, I think it will be an explosive breakout where TEL coin does see something similar to what it had previously here off of this double bottom, and we could potentially just retrace to where this falling wedge started to form, because that's what tends to happen when you break out of falling wedges. You retrace to where the wedge started to form, and then you come back in for a correction. We broke out again, created another falling wedge at a level of resistance. Right now we're coming back to the key level of support before looking for the breakout, retracing to where the wedge formed. So it's all about holding this key level of support right now on this key support and demand zone for TEL coin at 0.001. If I analyze a little bit closely here just before getting into the RSI, we are currently holding a key level of support at the moment on this previous low here from January of 2024 at 0.0012. So if we can hold out here for TEL coin at these 0.0012 range and prices, then we could have a breakout pretty soon, because we've got this sort of horizontal level of, or in fact we're still even higher than these previous lows. So we've got a higher, at the moment guys, we've got a higher low in price, but we've got lower lows in the RSI here. So we had this low back here that tied up with this correction in January of 2024, and right now we have put in a lower low in the RSI, but in the price we currently have a higher low. I meant to say a higher low. So we've got a higher low currently in price, and we've got a lower low in the RSI. So this indicates a bullish divergence. So I think we are closer towards the end of this correction. And as I've said, we've got this key level of support down here at the 0.001 range that I think Telcoin is trying to get to in its falling wedge before it essentially goes for the breakout. So again, it's all about monitoring this falling wedge pattern and monitoring the where it starts to break out. Because this is where, if you're looking for an entry and you're on the sidelines right now, if Telcoin does come back to retest this low that it's been holding for over a year, if it does come down to this retest zone and start breaking this descending resistance, then and holding it as support, this for me is an entry point to give the sort of precursor away that we're going to start retracing back to where this falling wedge started to form in the next couple of months, and things can get pretty explosive. So right now we are just still stuck within this falling wedge pattern. We are caught between a key level of support and resistance. And as I mentioned, we have put in a new local high in March, and we did break out of this sort of accumulation range that we were stuck in. So it's nice to see that from this from this range of accumulation, we have had so far higher highs and higher lows until as of recent, where we're just at the moment holding a higher low. And this is where I'm talking about the price actions still being able to pull in a reversal here, because we have got the bullish hidden bullish divergence on the weekly time frame for Telcoin. So as long as we can sort of hold this low and ultimately the local low of October 2023, then I think we are potentially still okay here for Telcoin in the coming weeks. And we are literally just, again, as I mentioned, we're building this base over the space of a couple of years, just sort of accumulating, I think, before the breakout, where the RSI eventually does sort of take a trend reversal flip here, and Telcoin does eventually come out and start to break out into 2025. So it's all about holding this key level of support now for Telcoin on the weekly time frame at 0.001, and right now we could potentially hold the 0.012 range at this low that I've been saying. We could hold support here on this bullish divergence, then that would be even better. But it's all about breaking the wedge resistance, the falling wedge, where we're caught between a level of resistance and support. It's all about breaking the descending resistance that is on our head. So if we see Telcoin start getting back above this descending resistance, okay, and holding this as support, then that's a good signal. Okay, guys. So yeah, that's it from me, guys, from Chart Nerd TA. I hope you enjoyed the content. If you did, please drop a like, a comment, and even subscribe if I'm lucky, from Chart Nerd TA. Take care, guys. Have a great evening. Peace out.